In today's episode, I'm fixing this mess right here. To give some context as to what's going on here, there was some damage to the rear quarter here. I used various methods to pull the metal out and reshape it properly. I didn't have the time, or I didn't have the proper ability to paint it or color match it correctly. So I ended up using some stickers to make like a mosaic and make it look nice for a little bit. But now I want to make sure that it looks all nice and one color. So I removed all the stickers. I wet sanded it down to 400 grit. It did pull off some of the primer, so I'll be repairing that. I'll be repairing the rest of the paint peel that happened here. Plan is to fix the paint peel that happened when I pulled the stickers off and make sure that it's all smooth, and repaint it, reprimer, repaint, and then cut and polish the entire car. Step one is to remove this tail light here so that it doesn't get damaged or any paint or get scratched up. We'll take that off and then start sanding. We'll start sanding right here. I got some coarse 120 sandpaper here, so I'm going to use that to get down to not bare metal, but at least down to the last layers as possible, so I can reapply some of the fillers to make it all smooth and nice. It took some work, but I went through and sanded all the areas that I need to repaint, and there is a few low spots, one here and then one behind me. I'm gonna use some body filler to bring it back up to level and fill the pinholes that are there, and we'll go from there. I got the bonder where it needs to go. It's actually quite a thin layer there, so that it's easy to sand and doesn't have such a big thick fill there. And also down here where there was a little bit of corrosion, I got rid of all the corrosion and got down to bare metal, filled all the little pinholes that were on the metal itself with the body filler and created a thin layer on top of it. And once it dries overnight tonight, I'll come back tomorrow morning and sand it back down to the proper level so that we can paint it. Same here, and then the rest can be primered once everything is sanded to the correct level.
The next day,
I put the body filler in last night, so now it's fully dried and ready to be sanded. I think these are sandable within a few hours, but since I could leave it overnight, I left it, so it's fully cured now and I can go ahead and sand it back down to the correct level and we can continue with the painting. I got everything cleaned out and dried. Now I'm ready to primer anywhere the metal is exposed. I'm gonna put some masking tape around where I don't want the primer to get onto, and then I'll use the primer to cover up anywhere that the metal is exposed and anywhere that I think could use a little bit of filling, and then we'll let it dry out as well. I got everything masked. Now I'm gonna lay the primer down. Alright, so the first coat came out pretty good. I'm gonna let it dry and then we'll hit it with another coat and see how it goes. If we need, we can do a third one as well. If not, we can let it completely dry and sand it back down to 600. We're gonna go for a second coat on this and see how it looks. Now that I've put down about 5 layers of primer, we'll let it dry completely and then we can come back and sand it with 600, make it all smooth, and then we can move on to the painting step. Alright, everything is dry and ready to be sanded. I'm going to use 600 grit, give it a smooth surface. It should make the paint stick to it really good. Also should get rid of all the scratch marks from the previous sandings. Okay, that's it for the part 1 of this series. Let's take a look at what we have done up to now. We got body filler and primer on the parts that we need to paint, and also used up to 600 grit sandpaper to scuff it up and have it ready for paint. In part 2, we'll be painting it. So if you want to see part 2, please hit that subscribe button and I will see you next week.